What's up, my man? How
Hello.
are you?
Good. How are you, Frankie?
Good. I mentioned San Diego for a reason because you got some ties to this little town of ours.
I do. I do have some ties.
So let me get it right. You went to Point Loma Nazareth first, right?
Yeah, I went to Point Loma Nazarene undergrad, and then I went to San Diego State for my master's.
And what brought you to San Diego? Where are you from originally?
I grew up on Maui in Hawaii. Um, yeah, I didn't apply to any other schools. I had a lot of my friends were going specifically to that school. PLNU had an outreach that they were basically giving deals to kids from Hawaii to come to their school. So I jumped on that train and really loved it.
Before we talk about Shang-Chi, I got to ask you, what's your favorite thing about San Diego, food-wise and lifestyle-wise?
Ooh, I mean, you can't beat the burritos in San Diego. Every time I come down there, my first stop is Ortiz's taco shop over in Point Loma area, and then I I also when I'm feeling naughty late at night, will go to Adalberto's and get a California burrito.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you. You know, it's funny you said that. I moved here from Boston 15 years ago, and I have a picture from when my face was this big when I moved here, and then like 3 months later it was like this. And it's because of the California burritos. We don't have those in the East Coast. I don't know if you have them in Maui, but it's like crack and a tortilla shell. Like the second you have one bite, not only do you finish that one, but you always order a second one.
Oh man, I'm starting to salivate just thinking of it right now.
And of course, you were here for Comic Con back in 2019, and that's where I guess it was kind of announced that Shang-Chi was coming out, and the big buzz began.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was crazy being at Comic Con on the other side, because I experience Comic Con every year just just because of the traffic that it created.
Sure. What was it like being on that stage and getting to announce this movie and seeing just the reactions of social media right afterwards and all the people, obviously locally in San Diego, but nationally as well?
It was pretty mind blowing to walk out onto that stage and hear the excitement from the fans. That it was my introduction to really the special relationship that Marvel Studios has with the fans, and how much interaction there is with every movie, with every frame of every movie that comes out, and that's a really exciting thing to be a part of.
For sure. And of course, the Asian culture is, I mean, I love that it's just owned in the movie. It's there and it's so cool. And I mean, that's got to be a cool feeling for you as well to be, the man behind this and making it happen for the culture itself.
Yeah, it's something that I never had when I was a kid. I didn't have a superhero who looked like me that I could dress up like on Halloween, and so I would just be projecting myself into Superman and whatever's available, really, even though they had nothing, they didn't look anything like me. So to be able to introduce this character into the MCU and have him be available to a whole new generation of fans and kids is very exciting.
That is cool. And watching the movie, it obviously is a great movie. Congrats on that. So cool to get to see the screener for it. But there's Easter eggs that always pop up during these, Marvel movies, and there's like little sneak things and like the oh wow moments. As you were putting this thing together, like, is that something that comes to mind naturally, or is that something that you kind of had planned out, all these little Easter eggs that you dropped in there?
Yeah, it's all that's part of the fun of making a Marvel movie is seeing how things just naturally pay off or set up other things to come. You're working within the context of a giant universe that is always expanding and growing and morphing, and that's kind of the fun, to create a movie that is interacting in some ways with all of the other things going on.
Do you ever get to go to the screenings like undercover, whereas the movies that you put together and you can just kind of see reactions before anybody else? Is that something that you do? I've always wondered that about like producers and directors.
I mean, I don't like wear a mask or anything, but I do dip into the back of some screenings and stand and listen to audience reactions. And particularly in the testing process when we're doing screenings, we'll sneak into the back and hear how the audience is reacting, just to see what's working, what's not.
So if it doesn't work, like if there's a scene that you think is going to be amazing and there's no reaction, you're like, cut this out, let's start again.
Yeah, or we figure out how to make it work. We tweak it until it does work. If it's a joke that no one's laughing at, then we figure out what's wrong with it and play it again and keep tweaking it until it works.
So you're lucky for that, because in radio, like if we do something that sucks and nobody laughs, like we can't just like, let's cut that part out of the show and start fresh.
But you don't really know if they're laughing or not. So you just imagine in your head everyone's laughing all the time.
It is. Our producer Chris actually has laughing sound effects. So in studio, it sounds like everybody's laughing, so we just feel good about ourselves. So I get in the car, my girlfriend's like, "You said the dumbest stuff today, Marie." Shang-Chi, of course, is out on Friday. I saw it. Our producer saw it. We loved it. Is there anything you want people to take away from this franchise? Like, you put this thing together and now people leave that theater. What do you want them to take away from it?
I mean, I think over the last 2 years, a lot of people are being reminded of what is really important to us. And for me, that has been family. And this movie at its core is about a family that is learning how to deal with their pain and come together again. I hope when people watch it, they're not only wildly entertained by the crazy Marvel action and beautiful choreography of this movie, but I also hope it just simply makes you want to call your mom when you get out and say thank you for everything that they've done for you.
And I love that so much. And I know the pandemic obviously has been crazy. You announced this in 2019 before you even knew what coronavirus was or what the pandemic was. And you get into the writing phase and all that, and then the pandemic hits. Was there any adjustments you made, or was there some fear in your mind of even getting this movie out when you were able to?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a giant question mark in every filmmaker's mind when the pandemic hit, and we're all moving through it even now. And but I do think that humans need inspiration. Humans need interaction, and narrative storytelling really does that. And I couldn't be more proud to be putting this movie out into the world right now at this time.
And humans need to go back to the movie theaters. I went a couple of weeks ago. I went this past week. I mean, there's something special about getting dinner and then sitting in a movie theater and seeing these movies with the big speakers and all the sound. And it's something, I think you're right, we all need that. And I think it's a great escape for people, especially as we go through what we've all gone through. So I know you got a bunch of people to talk to. I just want to say thank you for putting together such an amazing movie for the Asian culture, for people like myself that are Marvel fans and beyond. I appreciate it. And I hope that everybody enjoys that appreciation on Friday and goes up to see it as well.
Yeah, thanks so much.
And the next time you're in San Diego, let us know so we can go get some California burritos, all right?
Oh, let's do it. I can't wait.
All right, man. Have a great one. Congratulations.
Thank you.